Okay, I'm going to demonstrate a technique called drawn feather legs. You've probably seen these quite a bit, and I had somebody ask me to show them how to do it, so I told them I would. There's two applications, or two different ways you can manage the feather to get these two different outcomes. This is more of an open style. This is a collected bunch that comes directly out of the back of the head. And on this one, that come out the side, I think oftentimes you'll see these where people have drawn them down kind of in this manner, and get them to sit underneath kind of like so. And so there's basically the same technique, just how you maneuver the thread is just a tad bit different for each. So I'll show you both. Popular choice here is partridge. You can use really whatever soft hackle type feather you've got. And you just want to kind of start the prep of the feather by stripping all the down and all that geef off the back. Take a pair of hackle pliers, clip the tip of your feather, and draw everything out to the back. Trying to create a little bare spot on your stem right there. Get your pair of scissors and just trim a little triangle into it. If you want the legs to stick perfectly out the side, you want to try to make sure that these barbules are lined up right at where the wing case is tied in. And we tie this in directly on top. I tried to do this without putting a thorax in, but I think in reality you just got to have the thorax in there, or it just doesn't come out right. So I'll quickly put a thorax in. You can dub it. I know one of the more popular choices is peacock herl for this, so I'll just put in a little bit of herl real quick. And we'll just kind of wrap this. I'm not going to try to make this super pretty or anything, just as long as the demonstration is sufficient to allow you to perform this technique. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to pull this forward, leaving all of these barbules out to the side, just like so. You're going to kind of see where your thread is, and you're going to try to open up a little gap there. You just want to be careful not to draw barbs that you don't want coming, the barbs that you do want to keep. You want to be careful not to interfere with those, and then you just tie this off right on the top side, like so. And fold this back, tie it in. And then once you've done this, actually this little bit here is you can save those. It's another great way to make legs. So get your barbules out to the side where you want them. Fold your wing case over. And those ones are going to kind of be funky with me, but that's okay. And now you can bring your wing case over and put it in, build your head, and you're done. I'm not going to get too fancy here. I'm just going to lock it in, tie it off. And you've got the outside or riding high version, kind of, if you want to call that. So, I don't know. It's just a side mount version and a gathered bundle version. So there you go. And then if you wanted to, you can just take these and, like I talked about, you can drop them down and kind of force them to come down underneath and then to the sides, something like that. Okay, so for the bunched method, we essentially do the same thing. We prep the feather and everything the same. And we're going to tie this in. Coming forward. And again, I'm going to put in just a simple little peacock herl thorax. You really just need it so that it props everything open. Otherwise it doesn't really prop open and do what it's supposed to do. Not very well anyway. Okay. Now the main difference is this time when you tie everything in, you want to make sure that all the barbs are still going to the back of the feather and out the front of the fly, if that makes sense. So you can kind of collect them can be a little tricky to do. They don't always like to play nice, and you end up breaking your stems sometimes. So this part can be a little frustrating. Let's take a loose wrap over. Oh, they're going wonky on me. You may have to lick your fingers to do this. I was trying not to do that so that they didn't stay semi-collapsed. They tend to want to do that when I do it this way. Okay, and now we can take all of these fibers and draw them off the back. Come on, work with me. Off the back like so, and tie them in. And then what that does is that collects them and puts them in front of the thorax, just behind the head. And they do kind of want to splay open and move around. So if you wanted to get them nice and tight, you know, you're just going to have to take your time. I'm not going to take the time to make them perfect here, just for time's sake. Get your bunches off to either side. And then when you put your wing case in, that's really when it kind of sets everything in place a little better. Kind of like so. So there's a couple ways to perform this technique to get it to function in two different ways. There's other methods to get your legs to bunch up behind the head that are just as good, if not maybe a little better. This is just an old tried and true technique somebody asked me to show them how to do, so I told them I would. And so there you go. And then you can see when you turn the fly over, you've got your barbs coming out directly behind the head and in front of the thorax. So anyway, that's how that's the two different ways you can apply drawn feather legs, or maybe one or two others that I'm not aware of for the same method, but those are the two main ones for sure. So there you go. If you liked the video, I always appreciate a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share, and as always, everybody, happy tying, take care, and we'll see you next time.